Atlanta Joe here, live from Hollywood in the Sunset Strip palatial studios near our big fireworks display on the roof last night. Wow. Dave Schuyler joins us.
Skywalker here. You keep telling everybody my just should we just call myself Dave Schuyler?
AKA, I always get it wrong. I don't know. I'm sorry. I've known you too long. I've known you too long.
Honest to God, as I was on the air for 10 and a half years at KIIS 101, and about 3 disc jockeys that I'd known for years would call me Dave Schuyler.
All the time.
Honestly, all the time. So, because they've known me for years. Hey, you're not wearing a hat tonight.
You know, I'm showing off my new look.
Oh, because the LAPD wanted me to send you a shout out.
My buddies. Yeah. I love it. I love those guys and ladies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Here it is, July 5th. Over this weekend, I saw this posting on Facebook, and there was this discussion on one of the boards about KWST 106 when they signed on. Sure. And Richard Wagner had posted that KWST 106 had signed on at 5 o'clock. They didn't. They signed on at 6 o'clock. And somebody else had posted the wrong date is when they signed on. So I just put in the correct information. And it was because I was working at KHITS 97, and I actually recorded when they signed on. And I'm going to play you a couple of air checks. And this is really interesting because KWST 106 went from 106 KWST as an AOR station. Okay.
Hard rock, too. They were pretty hard rocking.
Pretty much so. And they were one of those that was in the group with KMET, with K-Rock, with
KNAC Long Beach,
KNAC, and KLOS.
They had a perma billboard there on the whiskey on the building, K-West. Remember? It was right there.
Yeah, right. Okay, so 1981, KWST decides they're going to change the format to Top 40.
Yep.
You really don't have a budget. This company doesn't have a budget to take on the Top 40 format. And keep in mind, at that point in time, Top 40 is pretty much dead. The format is just kind of really just...
KHJ was country.
Yeah, they're just kind of floating. The only Top 40
Spanish,
stations...
Right?
The only Top 40 stations in the market at that point were the Mighty 690 and KIQQ.
Yep.
Which were two. Mighty 690 was playing 150 songs, I think, because I was at the Mighty 690, and we were only playing like 200 songs, I think it was.
And they were coming in from Tijuana.
Yeah, I had to drive to Mexico. Yeah.
Yeah.
XETRA. XETRA. Tijuana, Mexico. The Mighty 690. And Ted Ziegenbusch, actually, I think he was the first program director from Coast 103 of the Mighty 690. But and then Jeff Hunter and Jim Richards. And so I would end up working at the Mighty 690. So, and that was the only Top 40 station that was left. And that's where I was. But during this, but I was at KHITS 97 when KWST changed. And the one great thing about KWST, and what I don't understand is why they didn't just move KHJ to KRTH and make Bob Hamilton the big, head honcho, the operations manager.
And Bob had great experience with Top 40 too,
Right.
I mean, we worked at Wi-Fi in Philly. You did a lot of Top 40 experience. Bob is a great programmer. Yeah.
So not only of the country format, of the new KHJ country format, but of the new Top 40, KRTH, and Chuck, would be the program director.
Right.
That's what I don't understand.
Manager.
And this is something that people don't ever point out. They always kind of blame KWST. Now, this is just a small little pea shooter company.
Yeah, but they were losing the licenses, RKO. They weren't going to change anything. And back then, remember, they lost KIIS and they lost KHJ.
Well, I think at that point, wasn't it Beasley? Didn't Beasley buy the station?
He bought them both off of the fire sale, and...
Well, this is the day that KWST changed to top 40. And it's funny, Richard Wagner wrote in his post, he said, for some reason, 5 o'clock is stuck in my head. And this may be the case, Richard, is because at 5 o'clock, they started saying 106. They changed from saying 106 KWST. Frank DeSantis was the last jock on the AOR station, but they started saying KWST 106. Is
he the governor of Florida now, DeSantis?
I don't know.
That's Ron DeSantis, sorry.
Anyway, Bobby Ocean, they do a top 10 countdown in the last hour from 5 to 6. DeSantis actually does time checks. This is how you actually know what time they changed the format.
Ah.
So anyway, DeSantis, in this air check I'm about to play, DeSantis does the first air check. He says he doesn't actually say what time, but the second one he says it's 9 minutes before 6 o'clock, and the last song is "Stairway to Heaven." You can actually hear the processing change because KWST, the AOR station, had no processing. But you can actually hear them kick the processing in. But this is what's sad about today's promos. There's no creativity. They all sound the same. You just slap a different call letter, on the station, and they all sound the same.
No more creativity. No.
Bobby Ocean did such a great promo to introduce KWST 106, and still one of my all-time favorite promos. But this is the introduction and the last of 106 KWST. But at this point in the last hour, they had reversed it, and they had Frank DeSantis referring to the station as KWST 106.
All right.
11 and a half minutes and counting.
If you're breathing.
Well, folks, we're just about down to it. 9 minutes till 6 o'clock at KWST 106. The final selection in the top 10 AOR countdown, starting with, we had 10, working our way down through the number 1 spot here. Led Zeppelin on KWST 106. I'm Frank DeSantis. I'll see you later.
To heaven.
Did you hear that compression?
Oh, yes.
Will be our year. Took a long time to come.
Before 1975, KWST radio had played soft, soothing music. Within the radio and record industry, this type of airplay is termed beautiful music. While on the streets, this kind of sound is called elevator music, music to die by. Then came 1975, and the sound of KWST changed. It became album-oriented and played a lot of the newer artists. The music was generally very loud, and there was enough so-called heavy metal on the air to reconstruct the LA Coliseum so the Rams wouldn't have had to desert the City of the Angels in the first place. But there were some great moments and great artists. We salute the way it was as we began a new updated cycle. We hold our glasses high and remember the talent and imagination of some of the real greats. Voices that carried their special message to us. Like...
All right,
whatever that meant. Or how about this? Sometimes the messages were clear and the profits very dear. Still true. The times continue to change, and KWST changes right along with all of Southern California. We go forward, boldly, into the 80s. That away. And we're glad to have you along for the ride.
The greatest hits of all time. All the time.
West 106.
KWST.
Los Angeles!
All right, it is time. It is time to wake up the people of Southern California at long last. A place on your dial to make you feel alive. And now is the time, and this definitely is the place. So on behalf of the entire staff of the new KWST family, this is Chuck Martin. Welcome to excitement. Welcome to real radio. Welcome aboard the starship of the 80s. Let it roll! KWST 106, we're London and Engelman. Start your mornings beginning tomorrow at 6. And only right here on the new KWST.
See, the problem is they were continuing with KHJ, and the top 40 format needed a respite. And I'm going to play you KIIS at about the same time. Now, this is about a year later, and KIIS had dropped your number one adult hit station, but they haven't brought in the jingles and all the hoopla yet. They haven't made it in a top 40 station yet. They're sliding.
The whole political thing in the company going on. That's the only reason. But the
sliding,
plan was there.
They're sliding into it. It's a very strategic way of going about it, because in 1981 you had KHITS 97 doing relatively well as they're sliding into the adult contemporary format.
Chicken Rock.
Coast 103 is sliding into the adult contemporary format, doing extremely well. And now KWST is going to try to be a top 40 station. KIQQ isn't doing that well. Now, KIIS is very strategic about this. Now, listen to KIIS.
102.7 KIIS-FM. Big Ron has another mooshy-gooshy love song for those of you who are kissing at work and thinking of your baby. Here's Sheriff, and When I'm With You. KIIS-FM is what you got.
LA's music, KIIS-FM.
102.7 KIIS-FM. It's a Big Ron in the afternoon, usually the shy, retiring type, but with Prince and Boy George coming up next. I may be coming out of my shell at any moment. 2:53, the smog is pretty bad today. It may even be a bit worse tomorrow as the temperatures go down. The air kind of gets thicker and smoggier. Tonight's low will be 68 with some low cloudiness. Tomorrow we should only make it up to the upper 80s here in L.A. and the middle 90s in the coastal valleys. Right now at the KIIS-FM Space Needle in Hollywood, it is 90 degrees.
The conversational Big Ron.
No surprises at your auto care station.
LA speaks out.
I'm Liz Fulton for KIIS-FM. If you have questions you'd like answered, send them to LA Speaks Out, care of KIIS-FM, Box 196, Hollywood, California, 90028. LA Speaks Out on 102.7.
KIIS-FM.
102.7 KIIS-FM is KIIS, Los Angeles.
See, they trimmed that used to say, your number one adult hit station.
No, that's gone.
102.7 KIIS-FM.
The transition is underway.
Yeah. Los Angeles. Yeah. And that was Danny Dark. Now, as they were continuing to evolve.
Big Ron must have taken a Valium before his show every day, because naturally
it was very soft. It was a very soft approach.
Mellow, you know?
And as they moved into 1983, 84, it became full-fledged top 40. Yep. A weather jingle was brought in, LA weather, and then the 6 o'clock Skywalker at KIIS-FM and AM, Los Angeles, hot hits, KIIS-FM.
There you go.
And that's where we brought all those jingles.
When you hear these three songs, you win $10,000 contest.
Lots of money, lots of cash, lots of big money. So the whole thing went full-fledged top 40. But you can hear how strategic that they went about this. What I don't get is why this AOR phase, this fad, was so popular at the time, because in 1981, KMET was doing so well.
Yeah, they were number one.
Okay, this is what KMET was doing.
Booyah.
KMET rocks Malibu with the Beatles. I'm in love with her and I feel fine. And Def Leppard, band from England with a second album and a song called Let It Go. And Bad Company doing Bad Company.
All hits.
Thanks, Merv. Love your genes and your chromosomes aren't bad either.
Oh, shut up.
Gary U.S. Bonds. Dedication. Little spelling lesson. Dedication, Gary U.S. Bonds. In fact, that's the title of the album. Gary's comeback record. KMET, Los Angeles. We are just moments away from 9 o'clock in the morning. We get the news and the updated surf from Ace Young and some ZZ Top. KMET, Los Angeles.
All hit artists and hit tracks, mostly.
There's no thump. Oh, I thought there was a thump at the end of that one. 901 94.7 KMET Los Angeles. Good morning. Ace Young here with our late breaking news. Updated here for this Tuesday, August 25th, 1981. Fair skies, hot temperatures, 80 in the beach, 94 coastal strip. Can you believe that? If you live in the valleys, anywhere from 94 to 105 today. And this morning, federal officials refusing comment on the New York Times report that recaptured spy Christopher Boyce is refusing food in his Seattle jail.
BASF Pro 2 Chrome cassettes at the Federated Group.
I know that guy. Here we are, Tuesday morning, 94.7 KMET. Checking out the sir.
Good morning, Ace. Gabriel Wisdom here in La Jolla.
Ace Young, he's got a great voice.
Nice voice, but he sings. He's a singer.
Wait, listen to this.
We're down to Chart House.
From Horizons West Surfboards in Santa Monica, this is Jennifer.
And this is Jefferson from Zuma J Surfboards in Malibu.
Each of these people do about 5 minutes about a surf report in each. I just put the intro of their names.
94 coastal strip, valleys 94 to 105, and currently at Metro Media Square in
Every
Hollywood,
day.
85 degrees. News and surf at 9, more 10. I'm Ace Young. You're up to date. It's KMET Informs Southern California. Now KMET Rocks Southern California. Rock and Roll Tuesday morning, and Jeff Gonzer.
And Tom Petty. And the Heartbreakers.
Ooh.
KMET.
Number one, baby. For a long time.
Number one.
In Los
I don't
Angeles
get it.
For a long time, for a couple of years, they were number one.
Yeah. And that's when they were doing extremely well in
And they
1981.
had these billboards, the same billboard everywhere, same billboards everywhere. You know,
Upside down. The KMET was upside down.
the same
and-
logos,
and
all you saw. You know, maybe a little different message on the bottom, but the billboard was the same everywhere.
I just never understood the attraction. I never understood the attraction.
And then one day, you know,
Those
they still had a
surf
four.
reports.
They still had a
those
four
surf
share when they changed it.
Those surf reports went on forever. I mean, they went on forever. If I played the entire air check, it would go on for about 10 minutes. It was unbelievable that they would play a person from each place, area, and play the entire surf reports.
Research
This is Tim. This is Buck. This is whatever. It just went on and on and on. It was just unbelievable, and I can't believe that was actually the most popular radio station.
They were current
in Los
based.
Angeles.
You know, they played a lot of current rock music. There was a lot of current rock music out.
Yeah.
So the young males that liked that station, they had a 20 share of. Maybe there were a lot of them were surfers. You know, probably the audience they were going after.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's a valid point, but geez, it just, oh my God, it just makes you want to shoot yourself if you're from a top 40 format. Because
And then remember, the methodology of the day was the diary, and it's a different methodology than it is now, and everything was different then. You had to play to the way they did the ratings, and you had to set yourself up for all these nuances. And
by 1987, they had enough of it.
They still had ratings, but they changed the format.
Well, actually, they had no ratings when they
Did
changed
they
the
finally
format.
go down to nothing? I didn't know that. I wasn't around.
Oh,
then.
they had bottomed out.
I wasn't here then.
Yeah.
I came back in '87, though. Yeah, I came back.
Yeah.
I think the wave was already on when I came back.
Yeah, the wave. Yeah. KMET had just kind of.
I guess when rock music fizzled in the '80s, when rock kind of died at the end of the '80s, you know.
Yeah, in 1987, they tried that smooth jazz format, and that took off.
It was good. They did really well with it.
They did extremely well.
Southern California adult audience, big time.
Yeah,
but
Southern California smooth jazz. Yeah.
And they played hits in there, too. They didn't just play a lot of eclectic new age music. They played hits, too.
It was an interesting format, when they first started out. Yeah. And once again, everybody copied the format, and you had a smooth jazz format all across the country. You know, everybody copies. Everybody copies Los Angeles or New York. It's always been the way. But I wanted to play those markets, those three different radio stations, and to show you the difference. And I think had KWST kind of backed it off a little bit and not tried to gone straight ahead with a CHR format, because Top 40 was actually in a holding pattern, let's put it that way, at that point. And you really didn't have anybody doing Top 40, and Top 40 wasn't so popular. And there weren't Top 40 hits that were out there. You did have the Go-Go's, you did have Whip It by Devo. I'm trying to think of the same songs that I was playing over and over at the Mighty 690.
MTV helped Top 40. See, they thought MTV was going to kill radio, but MTV actually helped Top 40 because of the music that was being developed for the videos. When Top 40 came back big time in the mid-'80s, as KIIS-FM did, became number one, in the market.
No. It's amazing, when KHJ changed to country, the Mighty 690 immediately picked up the KHJ jingles, and I think they were by Tuesday Productions. And so instead of, and we didn't use Paul Frees as you guys did at KHJ, saying the rhythm of Southern California.
Yeah, Chucker wanted to use Paul. He loved that guy. He's a great voice, though.
Yeah, we would just talk up, and we had a rotating one. So we would talk up the jingle, and so it would go, da 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 da, and we would say, 7 o'clock on Hit Radio, the Mighty 690. I'm Dave Schuyler with more of Southern California's hottest hits. And it would go the Mighty, instead of 93K, it would go the Mighty 690. And one version would go Los Angeles, just like KHJ. And one version would go Southern California, but we never pushed San Diego.
No.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
Very interesting.
But there was no Top 40 was really at a lull at that point. It was not, there was nothing really happening, and KIIS really took it in a very, very strategic, slow manner as far as taking it to a natural progression to bring it back to a top 40, because top 40 just wasn't happening.
I hear you, but let me tell you, I bought two radio stations in 83 and 84. We went top 40 with them both, and the music was popping by 84. By 84, 85, it was popping.
It was
and
back.
KIIS helped, and MTV helped. MTV helped top 40 a lot, and they thought it was going to kill radio. Actually helped if you were smart about it and promote MTV. Make it a cool thing and make it a part of your radio station. We had a whole MTV category on my stations. But, I want to also, we're getting a little bit long here tonight. So
I know we got to wrap this up.
We got to wrap it up, It's fun, though, talking about all this format change stuff and everything. And right now, there's like nothing to talk about. Radio's just kind of there, I have a feeling it's not dead yet, though. I have a feeling.
Sadly, I don't have that same feeling. During my little birthday vacation trip, I did notice that radio is dead. Sadly.
Let's say it's on life support. Be kind.
Okay.
They didn't
it's
pull
on
the
life
plug
support.
yet. Well, we're still on radio. We have Flashback Top 40 radio right here. We're not dead because we're not on radio. We're on
we're on digital media. But, terrestrial radio for the most part, I was so saddened. I really was, because I hadn't been out. I've been very sick for the last few years. And so it's funny, and I'll just wrap this up with this story. I've had to go well, it was a couple of weeks for a while, but now it's every month. I have to go, I have to get my blood taken. And so this last time I had a new technician, and I've had a 28-year-old take my blood. And this time it was a 32-year-old. So I thought I'd talk about, and it was right before my birthday on June 30th. So I mentioned, wow, do you know that Kasem, because American Top 40 started on June 30th. And I said, coming up to the anniversary of American Top 40, and the guy who started it, Kasem, do you know that name? And she said to me, no, Ryan Seacrest started American Top 40.
She looked at you like you had two heads. Casey who?
Yeah. And then I said, surely you know the name Rick Dees, don't you? Rick Dees, the weekly Top 40, or on KIIS-FM? And she said, no, Rick Dees is on, Ryan Seacrest is on KIIS-FM.
They forgot Rick,
she had no idea. A 32-year-old.
Let's end it right there. I don't want to hear anymore. That's it. I don't want to hear anymore. Banana Joe's still on the radio. Digital radio. FlashbackTop40.com. And Skywalker is on that same channel. 4 to 7 and 7 at midnight. Tune it in. And if you want to hear real live LA radio again, they'll be driving in to hear us, folks. But you don't have to drive in. You can hear it anywhere in the world. Yeah. They used to drive in to listen. Remember?
Oh,
Drive
yeah.
in to listen to KHJ, man.
And we would love to hear from you, too. Any subject, please get in touch with us. Leave a message for Banana Joe or myself, Skywalker, or Dave Schuyler.
And my email's right up there on the screen if you're watching this.
Oh, great. Excellent.
Joe at BananaJoeRadio.com.
Anything you want to talk about, we would love to talk to you, and we will see you next time right here on Jock Talk.
Yeah, baby, this is Jock Talk coming at you from the Sunset Boulevard studios of Flashback Top 40 Radio. I'm Banana Joe with Skywalker, bidding you a good night, morning, or whenever you're demanding to listen.